Hey, JP3, play the intro.
Oh, the intro. Do we have an intro?
No, just play the one on the StreamYards.
Grazie, signore.
You have to be joyful as Catholics.
Subscribe to this channel and share this video.
And true humility is difficult.
Women who should be taking care of their home are on chat rooms.
Handouts.
That's dumb. It's just stupid.
Go away!
Man, that intro seems real dated.
I know. It is as if it was done for a different time. Yes. A different time. Right there. Why is that out of the way? Anyway, welcome to the show. We would like to talk about the great drama.
Yes. There was this great drama about some people in Michigan trying to save America. You know that place that built all the stuff that we went and fought a world war with? Well, this time, the people trying to save America were on the other side of the war that America was fighting on.
Oh, that's fantastic. We are, of course, talking about American reform, right, Master Bowser?
Exactly. This is why you need to clarify your intentions and your brain cells before talking about these issues, because as far as I can tell, the only thing American reform is actually siding on is the devil, and that's it. Well, we got a super tip already? Oh, okay, I'll play the super tip thing.
No, it was a $50 super tip. Play the other super tip thing.
ありがとう、やった。ありがとう。ごきげんようありがとう。ありがとう、やった。ありがとう。ごきげんようありがとう。
And Jerome says, as Archbishop Lefebvre said, stop coping. Sponsored by Big City. Thank you very much, Jerome. Who keeps the show alive by himself? So what else did you have to say about that?
Well, I didn't think there was very much to say about it. It was a bunch of people on the internet getting mad at each other, and one of them was a priest, and the rest of them were fighting. And we even got DMs from a neutral third party today being like, hey, how can we fix the situation?
Oh, and what did you say, Master Bowser?
I said nothing. I was like, if you guys want to be stupid, why do I care? It's like, hi. Which side are we on? What are we doing here? What is this?
And so that happened. Oh no. Oops.
So, yeah, that's our thoughts on the matter. If you want us to talk about this like for a half an hour, why we're right about everything, we can, but what was the point? People believe what people believe, and we believe people should be free to choose what they want to be. If you want to be a coxman, then you should be a coxman. If you want to be a sede picante libertarian, then you should be a sede picante libertarian. But, I don't really care that much. I do care way too much. But I do think you should all have the freedom to choose whatever thing. Why is the cord in front of my face?
Oh, this is terrible. Oh, okay, so you're just being a libertarian. Master Bowser says, if you just want to do whatever you want to do, then just do whatever you want to do. Oh, I'm so smart. I'm Mr. Bowser. Oh.
So someone sent us this video, and it's a scholastic answers.
Oh, this is Christian Wagner. Oh, and this man is a coxman. I'm more like a vanilla man and alcohol man, but if that's what you want to do. Freedom of thought is modern. No. End the stream.
Yes, we are an authentic bicorn.
Yes, Mr. Bowser, say you're lying.
So I've decided that since I have an actual bicorn, and as far as I know, Mr. Cox does not, I am officially more white than Stephen Cox. Therefore, he has no right to complain about the white race.
When talking with people, in the society, or I guess this could expand to people within other traditionalist groups as well, how does that work?
Yeah.
How does talking to people work?
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Did you know you can use your mouth and say words?
I know. It's like, hey. Did you know the same problem that we've had for the last 60 years? We still have the same problem. How are we supposed to talk to these people?
Oh, I think you were supposed to say, get a stick and beat them and say, convert to Rome, you skizzy.
Oh, how does one send a super chat? Here, let me put the banner up. It's on this side.
So what you do is you go to supertip.gg/ZAP, and then you go and you can say, yes, I would like Stripe to access all of my information. And then Stripe accesses all your information. Then you go like, oh, I will send him a text super tip. Sandy Picante never bothered to set up the voice super tips because his computer is kind of out of date, and he's too lazy to set up a new computer. It's like, on the list of things to do that he just will never get to. Oh, Unes Las Bocas. I love this guy.
Are you saying Hawks?
Oh, rocks. Mark Roberts. Did you know the guy who taught me philosophy was named Mark Roberts? Oh, and anyway, going on. Oh, how do you talk to traditionalists?
What are they, aliens?
I think my first thought, and I don't want this to sound swaggering, but I think now's kind of the best time to talk about it, because at least since the society was founded.
Say that. Right now's the best time to talk about it, because literally everyone is pumping out content on this, and everyone has a different opinion, and everyone's losing their minds over this. Oh, I think right now's the best time to talk about it.
Ooh. Do you think you should wait like a week before doing this show?
Yes. I honestly, I don't understand why everyone is like, oh my goodness, did you see the news drop today?
Ooh, what was the news, Master Bowser?
Some people got made into bishops, and everyone lost their mind.
Oh, well, how should we talk to them?
You shouldn't. Ignore it. Are you stupid? What's wrong with you? Just ignore it and change the topic. Pretend you've got an injury. Break your leg. Say a cow fell down a well. Do anything. Don't talk about this. Because if you do, you're going to sound like these guys.
Their canonical status has been super ambiguous, because they had a kind of permission from the Bishop of Freiburg.
My canonical status is super ambiguous.
Whoa, I guess there's a new level of canonical status. There's valid, invalid, and super ambiguous. Excuse me. Oh, yes. Are your Eucharists valid or invalid? My Eucharist is super ambiguous. Yay!
And then that permission was revoked in 1975.
Can we just say, these guys are insane? There's so much content. I have 8 or 9 videos I wanted to look at, and then every single video is I could just play the whole thing and comment over it. I watched the first 20 minutes of this video, and I was like, okay, I'm done watching it, because I can't stop clipping. It's so good.
By a successor. Lefebvre was suspended de divinis.
Yes. Since 1975, they have been irregular, meaning they cannot ordinarily be the means of sacrament for anyone outside their community. That's what that means. And if suspended mean they have to go to Rome and ask to be unsuspended.
No, so it wasn't super ambiguous ever?
No, it was never super ambiguous.
it's been hard to host the conversation on account of the fact that we just don't know where we stand. And then Year of Mercy with confessions, and then 2017 with marriage, and it just got like really muddy.
Wait, Sarah. So when Francis gave them confessions,
Yes?
and everything got worse because we didn't know that they were already irregular, and then they became regularized for confessions. Then they went back to being irregular, I guess, since they're not. And then now we don't know what they are.
Mom, I think they would be what they were before. They were like irregular the entire time, meaning you could never ever make them your ordinary means of sacraments. Until you could.
But we're going to get to that point later too, aren't we?
So now it's clear, like excommunications have been pronounced, or they were incurred late sententiae, but they've also been solemnized.
Yeah, so now it's clear because now they're excommunicated. Did you know they were excommunicated before?
Oh, they were? You mean like nothing's actually changed? There was just this little blip of time where it wasn't?
Yes. That's the point. It was always clear. Pope Francis was screwing with people because he's the greatest pope of all time. Pope Francis, patron saint of our deceased pets. And then Kennedy Hall was like, hey, look, I got full communion, guys. And it's like the whole time Pope Francis was laughing all the way to the bank, be like, yeah, Kennedy Hall fell for it. They were always irregular. That's just what it is. They can't form their own churches. They can't be in people's dioceses. They can't give the sacraments to anyone ordinarily. That's what it means. They can only do it to themselves and their own community. And then they didn't obey, and they went around and got excommunicated. Well, what's there to know?
Oh, nope, Francis. Oh. It isn't a stream until I get expert analysis from Nikki Columbus about all the things that happen in the church. The converts bring a whole nuttier BF snarcism wrapped in a blanket. Love that. Marriages are still invalid.
Okay. I have a problem with this part. Okay. Marriages are invalid because there's SSPX girls or something. Like, how are the marriages invalid? This is what I'm talking about. The SSPX broke everyone's brains. Marriages are still invalid. Hey, did you know if you're in the SSPX, you can't kiss your wife? Your kisses are immoral because we invalidated we revoked your marriages. How does this work for these people?
And then a state of schism has been declared.
Ooh. It's a $50 super tip and you get a brass ring. What? What? Why wasn't I told about this? I need to get some brass rings.
Has been declared.
No. This is a character from hello guys. He's from a different universe altogether.
And Master Bowser is the voice I use for all of my stuffed animals ever since I was like 13.
And it's clear that while certain of the sacraments are celebrated validly, even though sacraments are celebrated illicitly, but marriages, invalid, confessions, invalid.
Right. So they would sacrament. They do all the sacraments validly except for marriage and penance. What?
And, it's clear that while certain of the sacraments are celebrated validly, even though sacraments are celebrated illicitly, but marriages, invalid, confessions, invalid.
So only extreme unction and baptism are celebrated validly? Is that it? But no, you can't get married. No more traditionalists. If you're a traditionalist having married over any thoughts about getting married, you better stop it. Chapter 3, is Wagner a hermeticist or a hermaphrodite?
No, I think he is a fat, chunky porker who loves to save the white race. Oh.
No, what?
We will take that comment off the screen.
does that even mean?
So now you can go to the SSPX if you only do it with your eyes closed and both hands tied behind your back and hopping on one foot and rubbing your tummy and walking in circles. Then it is still okay to go to the SSPX.
This is what we're talking about. Like, this conversation, I couldn't believe it was real. Anyway, we're just going to have to listen to this. This is insanity.
And all of the priests of the society are in a state of schism. As for laypersons, it's like if they frequent the sacraments at the society, then it's understood that they too have entered into a state of schism. People who frequent their sacraments and enter into their kind of milieu, as it were, doesn't necessarily mean people who kind of bop in and out for pastoral care on a ad hoc basis.
Right. So if you frequent it all the time, you're in a state of schism. But if you come in at an ad hoc basis, it's okay. So all you have to do is you get 2 different SSPX parishes, and every time you go to one, you go, oh, I hate these people. I'm not coming back next week. And then you go to the other one. And then when you're walking out the church, you tell the priest, I don't like this place. I'm going to a different church next week. And then you go back to the other one. And it would be completely valid, according to Father Gregory Pine, and everything would work.
Oh, so as long as I bop in and out? I wonder what the theological, the reasoning behind bop in and out is. If you walk slightly or softly and you don't scare the worm.
Oh, wait, no, if you walk without rhythm, you don't attract the worm. No. What is this?
Even though you have no formal schism, you should just go to a Novus Ordo priest and promise not to go to liturgical society liturgies. I promise not to do bad thing, even though there's no authority or validity behind this promise.
We've been exhorted, and I think that was pretty clear in the explanatory note. We've been exhorted not to go to SSPX chapels, where it mentions that if you don't have no formal adherence to the schism, those who attend the SSPX liturgies, they should just go to a priest and basically don't cross your fingers and say I won't go there anymore.
Yes. So if you go to an SSPX church and you realize you got to not go to one, and then you go to a Novus Ordo church, you say, I promise, holy oxen, I ain't gonna do that again. And then the sin of schism leaves you.
Oh, goodbye, sin of schism.
Yeah, did you know you can confess your own mortal sins? All you have to do is say, I don't want to go back ever again. And then all of a sudden, you're free. You're back in the church again. No.
Which is like a really interesting comment to make. To make a firm resolution, I think was the language, not to go to society liturgies anymore.
Yeah, so as long as I make a firm resolution, their liturgies are valid, and I can go to them as long as I bop in and out. But as long as I don't say the Leonine prayers at the end of it, I think you can just go to them always. But if you do go to them and you have the feelings of schism, then you can't go to them. Oh. And then the Father Pine says,
the Father Pine says, you're being duplicitous and don't commit empathetic schism. Yes, did you know your emotions can be schismatic?
I was feeling schismatic towards my ice cream, and then I consummated the ice cream with full pastoral unity. And then my empathy, my schismatic tendencies all left me. Isn't that wonderful?
And you can go to schism by going to an SSPX wedding, even though that's not a law of the church and has never been. No.
At least as you present yourself in that setting, I think it's just ever so slightly duplicitous, because on account of the fact that the formal status has been clarified, there's a kind of logic to the physical act of frequenting the liturgy.
So there's a logic that if you physically go to the SSPX is bad. But if you spiritually go to the SSPX, it's good. Oh, there is no sin. We're all happy. Everything is wonderful. Oh, this is fantastic.
To the physical act of frequenting the liturgy, which, regardless of what you kind of have going on in your mind, the intentionality of the physical activity.
Okay, the intentionality of the physical activity? Didn't you just mean going to Mass?
No, he means you must go to Mass with the intention of committing schism internal. You must be like,
I do hate Pope Francis. I do hate Pope Francis. It's not Pope Francis anymore, you dummy.
Oh, that is correct. I go to the SSPX, I'm like, Pope Leo, oh no, the sin of schism. Oh,
like, how else would it work? The physical act of intentionality going. Like, come on, nobody knows what we're talking about here.
Jests, gives indication of sympathy with schism, and as it were, entry into schism. And so it's like, similar logic that would concern what type of wedding you attend and what type of wedding you don't attend is operative here. Like you have to think about in terms of the way in which you show support, the way in which you give scandal, the way in which you seek to accompany those, to like evangelize those who stand in need of further clarification and exhortation.
Does this apply to podcasts? Because I get scandalized by other people. Hey. Because I'm anti-Stephen Cox, therefore, if any of my viewers are showing like intentionality and liking, and they watch things, even though they're watching it materially for the other person on the screen, I'm scandalized, therefore you're committing the sin of schism.
Oh, that sounds retarded, Master Bowser.
Yeah, it's because it is. You can't commit a sin of schism by being sympathetic. If that was the case, all of these Novus Ordos who say, oh, Martin Luther, he had a point. Every single one of them would be in schism. Everyone. And everyone does this all the time. Don't you feel bad for Jimmy Martin?
Oh, yes, because he is going bald.
Oh, you're sorry he's going bald. Schism. Schism. Oh, schism. We got a schism on the books. No, look it. We just got more money. Ah, a super tip from our friend, whatever his name is, Taylor Ryan. Thank you for your support, Taylor Ryan.
Oh, yes, we're currently playing the game where I super tip Taylor Ryan, and Taylor Ryan super tips me back. There's $10 from TLM Ryan. He said, from Preconciliar Radio. He says, these two are the best they've got. Insane. Thank you for this, Saint JP3. Yes, I am a saint and a pope. Did you know? We're in trouble. So in other words, you can just go to the SSPX. It doesn't cause if it doesn't cause scandal, or you're trying to convert the SSPX. Yes, it is. So I'm going to go to the SSPX next week, and well, I'm going there to pray for them. Yes, and that way it will not be a schismatic act. I'm praying for the SSPX to return to the unity of the true faith. Yes, but I'm also really shy.
Wait. So you're going to go there, say that you're going just to convert them, and then not talk to any of them about converting them?
Yes, because I am shy. I accidentally said nothing, and then I ended up going to every single SSPX Mass this year. Oh! That way it wouldn't cause scandal. Yes. Like, what are we doing here? Oh, he would give us euros, but we don't want euros. Euros are worthless soccer currency. Oh, you have watched Stephen Cox earlier, so I've been materially intending to watch the set show, Schism from the Church of Sanity. Oh, but only if you had both socks on. I heard that there's a new exception in the Code of Canon Law that says if you have one sock on, it doesn't count.
Don't listen to SAP, Daryl. He's just upset that he doesn't get more live viewers. Then he's like, why are other people streaming? Don't they know? Only I should stream? Watch what you want. To be completely clear, the SSPX are both inside and a part of the church, and also entirely outside the church, and are, quote, dying on the vine. So in this clip, we get new theology that has never been discussed before. Did you know you can be entirely inside the church and be excommunicated from the church? I guess that's the new theology. Welcome to the Novote Theology, where we make things up because of podcasting.
And so basically, like, this branch has been declared cut off. Not in that, like the church herself cut them off, but in that they took steps whereby to cut themselves off. And so the pronouncement has been made clear that you're dying on the vine.
You're dying on the vine, but you're not attached to the vine. You're in schism. You left the vine. You water the wheat, we are the grapes. We're on the vine, you're in the field. You can't die in the field. If you're in schism, you died outside the field. It's like leggings. It's like if you're wearing leggings, right? Society has a big problem with something Chris Jackson posted. Chris Jackson posted, what's the length of mini skirts you should be allowed to wear? And then the chicks weren't wearing leggings. Well, that changes the entire conversation. What if they were wearing leggings? Now we have to reassess everything. Like, you might be in schism if you wear a mini skirt, but like if you have leggings under the mini skirt, like then you're not in schism. And then if you do that weird pop star thing where you only have one legging and one normal sock, then you're like in half schism. That's kind of like what the SSPX is like. Women in mini, but you can't kiss the woman in the miniskirt if she's in the SSPX because that's invalid. It's always a mortal sin to kiss SSPXers, I think. But you can go to all their sacraments if you have if you're like feeling conflicted, but no kissing. What the heck?
I was barefoot at the time, so I'm not in schism.
Following that, then Father Pan says, the SSPX statement of faith is far clearer than a lot of things we've heard in a while. Wait, isn't this causing scandal? The priest is saying the SSPX are good at something? I'm scandalized.
Oh, no, you just kicked Father Pine out of the church, ADP. Oh, that's so sad.
It's like a lot of it's really good. It's just far clearer than a lot of things that we've heard in a while.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't think it's a betrayal of Holy Mother Church to say, like, yeah, I sympathize with the disposition, or I crave the clarity.
I crave the clarity. Wait, he said he sympathizes? I thought you can't sympathize with a heresy. That's the mortal sin of schism. Oh,
no, Master Bowser, you were saying that all the SSPX are right. That's why you're allowed to sympathize with them. But on their liturgies and kissing them, you can't sympathize with them. Wait.
So we can feel sympathy with schism without entering into schism. But if we internally accept the thing we have sympathy with, we are in schism. So, like, we can really like Martin Luther and think he's right about everything, but we just can't say he is right about anything or think he's right about everything, but we can feel it. Okay? So essentially, the SSPX are real Catholics who got unfortunately schismed. What? I don't know. Ooh. Wagner's take on evangelizing the SSPX. Essentially, mutual worship is good, but we probably shouldn't do it. Wait, so you can just go to the SSPX and it literally doesn't matter? Welcome to the show of We Make It. I thought they were outside the church, dead members outside the church. You can't go there. The kissing girls is invalid, but all their other sacraments, you're fine.
But it said something to the effect of, when it comes to mutual liturgies or the sort of like the as close as one can get to, worshiping together without obviously, involving ourselves in sin against the first commandment. it said that these sort of things help with the evangelism, of other people. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking of from that angle, like where's the sort of limit? But I guess this is sort of like a how far is too far kind of question that we shouldn't necessarily involve ourselves in.
Yes, we shouldn't involve ourselves with associating with schismatics.
Oh, but what if these schismatics happen to hold the exact literal same faith as Mr. Wagner?
Yeah, it's almost like this is all made up. It's almost like you just don't know what's going on with anything. How would worshiping with a valid priest be a violation of the first commandment? I don't even understand what he's talking about. Oh, hey, you can't violate the first commandment by worshiping with the SSPX. But like, how would that work? And this is where, again, I don't even know what. I'm listening to this and I'm wondering what happened. It's like the SSPX EMP'd everyone's brains. I tell you, it's true. Bishop Goldaddy, he came up there and he said, Mimo, Mimo, Mimo. And then it was like, wow, I believe in nothing anymore. Oh, is everything made up? Oh, and you're going to see the later clips with, I clipped 25 minutes of like Kennedy Hall. Well, maybe not that long. Because I think he's insane. I love insanity. They already have done public worship with Protestants and pagans, so why would public worship with the SSPX be wrong? I don't even understand what their argument is at this point. It's like they're making things up.
Oh, just like what we do, Master Bowser.
Exactly.
Oh, this is the correct answer. Yes. When you kiss SSPX girls, you get cooties, and cooties are mortal sins.
Ah, part 2 of evangelizing or not evangelizing, or yes and no, and both and neither. Oh.
And I think that what you said about being sympathetic to the society, to the members of the society, is the most important thing, because the environment that we're in, within usually the type of people that are like talking about this thing, these sorts of things, they are within a sort of orthodox Catholic lens. Like, yeah, sure, you'll occasionally get the liberal who kind of steps in and says, the right wing SSPX sucks and whatever. But mostly it is within people, within and among people who are within the realm of general Catholic orthodoxy.
Wait. Yeah, you can be Orthodox and be outside the church, but and you can complain about right-wing culture in trad circles. What was the point again? Like, I don't understand. How do you arrive at don't talk to the SSPX because they're right-wing weirdos, but they're right about everything? I don't get it. What are we talking about? Hey, JP3.
Oh, what's that, Mr. Bowser?
If you're right about everything, shouldn't I agree with you on everything?
Well, yes.
But you're wrong about one thing, which I've already said now doesn't matter if I just bop in and out.
Well, yes, that means on all days not ending in Tuesday, you believe 100% of what the SSPX says, and you're a valid Catholic. But if you do it on Tuesday, oh no, then it's a new ballgame.
That's right. If you do 100% SSPXer, you might go to hell. But if you do 99% SSPXer, then you're fine. But how can you be Orthodox and be outside the church? The whole thing is that truth is a unity. No. If you are a white girl and the only girl you could get is a Guatemalan torta, that means a cake, why should I trust your judgment? Because a Guatemalan cake might be really yummy. Like, what if it's got chocolate in the middle of it and raspberry? That'd be fantastic. So in this clip, I know your parents and your family fell away by attending the Novus Ordo, but maybe you should come back. Oh, hey, where's that clip?
Trust me, I know. I raised all 4 of my children in the Novus Ordo, and all 4 left before the age of 23.
Yeah, it's that guy. It's I Miss Christianity. We're back to the hey, JP3. I know that there's a 100% chance of you dying if you jump in front of a semi, but just maybe you should think about it.
Whoa, I will think about it.
On a practical level, talking to this person.
Whoa, buddy! No.
Who a lot of these people, they're cradle Catholics. Actually, they grew up and they saw their families leave, or maybe they went to mass occasionally, and then now finally the one time in their life where they are praying frequently, they're going to the sacraments frequently, they're actually believing basic Catholic orthodoxy, and then now you're telling them like, hey, actually you got to come back to these parishes which maybe your parents and grandparents grew up in and left the church in as well.
No. Hey, I know you just finished getting over your drug addiction that completely destroyed your family. Your father OD'd on it. Your mother left you. All of your children will never talk to you. Your wife took the dog and drove into a ditch and blew up because it's Groundhog's Day or something. But why don't you come and do more drugs? Like, have you really thought about that? Like, I know you just stopped doing drugs and just got your life back together, and you've been consistent in your prayer life or your job. You should just come back. I know that you should expect the fruit of the Catholic Church to keep you on the track, but this deeply evil satanic cult I'm running needs a few more members. No. Yes. How do you say these words? Okay. Let's restart. I know that soccer is literally the worst sport in the world, and every time anyone plays it, they burn cities down. But maybe you want to go and watch one of these games, and when the team loses and they burn your car down, you should really be thankful that you got a good experience. Yeah, that sounds like what normal people do.
Is he trying to advertise for the SSPX? It's like, what is it? Are you tired of not being abused? Do you want to hate your life? Are you sad because you can't sing hymns that make you angry at church? Just come to the Novus Ordo. We've got all that and you'll hate it. Yay!
Oh, yes, definitely. If he didn't gather you in, then where did you go? Gathering in is communion itself.
So it's just like such a difficult conversation to have with a lot of these people. It's very hard.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's really hard to have this conversation. Hey, maybe you won't lose the faith this time. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Maybe this time. Maybe this time it's going to be so good. You just don't know. In this clip, some SSPX people have no idea how good anime or drugs or committing crimes or vandalizing the neighborhood is. Like, why would you want to be SSPX and like not get assaulted by a black man? Like, come on. Or not live in a city where ugly people with tattoos all over their faces who can't like stop eating fast food is. Are you even alive unless you see that stuff? Like, come on. Like, if you haven't gone through at least 17 different men and have children from half of them, are you even a human?
For some people, they just have no experience of Catholic life apart from the society.
Yeah.
Because when you look at, there are certain society like priories, chapels, mass sites, where they also have a school in close proximity, and you can live your whole Catholic life within society bounds from infancy. And so it might be like high school until folks hear about other options.
It might be into high school until folks hear about other options. So you mean SSPX parents might actually be responsible? Wow. Again, is this an advertisement for how amazing it is in the SSPX? Hey, JP3.
No, what's that, Mr. Bowser?
Hey, I want to know you to know that there's a group of white people out there, because SSPX is predominantly white, and all of their kids keep the faith, and they go to Catholic school, and they don't do drugs.
Oh, are they even alive, Master Bowser?
Yes, they're alive. They're doing what everybody else dreams of, not having to put your kids into places where they're endangered, and you got like nuns teaching them. That's the dream.
Well, they shouldn't do it because they might have feelings of schism. Ooh. Ooh, schism, blah, 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 blah. Schism. Oh, I know. The SSPX are a bunch of funny nerds to say it for content, but like these people, are like, oh man, I wish I was in the SSPX. Oh, but they had to go be idiots and go into schism. Oh, stupid SSPX. And I was going to send my kids to school there. Oh, thank you for dropping by, Jerome, and thank you for your $50 super tip. It is all very thankful or helpful. We will buy much Bitcoin with it.
I'm also sympathetic to like recent converts who were attracted by the beauty of the liturgy, and they were just kind of like brought to a society chapel by one of their friends, and that was the place in which they first met God, basically. And I think there's something especially precious about the place where you first met God.
Yeah, the Vatican, it really doesn't do it for me since I met God somewhere else. Like this, okay, I losing my mind at this point. There's a special place where you met God. Hi, God, how's it going? What does this even mean? There's a special place?
Oh, yeah, what he's talking about is when you actually internally become Catholic and you stop sinning and you start doing good works, like sending your kids to SSPX high schools where they go into this mortal sin of schism for touching girls. Yes.
I don't understand this, because like if you've ever talked to a Protestant, this is the way a Protestant is like, and then I read the Bible and I found the Lord, and then I was like, wow, this pancake is delicious.
Like, oh, that is a Protestant. And because the pancake is so good, therefore everything is wonderful.
It's like, yeah, but like, no. Because like you have to work at it, and you spend your entire life praying about it. It's not like, excuse us, we're drinking an energy drink. Excuse us. But it's like I met the Lord, and then I was just like, I can't go to a different church. I met the Lord here. Like, no, every single SSPX church is pretty much the same thing. Like, hello, that's why we have formation houses. We all produce the same mass-produced product called the priest. Like, hello?
Oh.
What? The SPX are
The SPX are 0.1% of the laity, but 100% of the schism. Oh. And then Father Pine admits that the corporate church needs to stop making scandals. I wonder what a corporate church is. I know there's a Catholic church. Oh, one schism, two schism, red schism, blue schism. Well, this one has a little star. This schism drives a little car.
It's like we got to clean up our act, corporately speaking, in the sense that, there's been a kind of modus procedendi whereby we say like, we don't really want to address these issues because they're never going to go anywhere, but we'll just kick him down the line. Kicking him down the line is also a form of scandal. when you say like, oh, we'll talk about, like women deacons at the next synod. That can be a form of scandal.
Yes. So they're admitting their church is filled with scandal, and the other one, their high schoolers just discovered Dragon Ball Z for the first time. That's the edgiest thing they've got. Dragon Ball Z. They're like, wow, did you see Goku?
Oh, I did not see Goku. What did Goku do?
He was like, wow!
And that's about as far as the SSPX teenagers get? Well, I can only say I don't think these two interact with SSPX teenagers.
Yeah, just because you knew one SSPX teenager, CDP, does not make you the official spokesperson for SSPX teenagers. What on earth are they trying to draw people into? I know you have this enviable Catholic cosmos you live in, but you're with all these junkies. The Pope wants you to. Like, yeah. This is why you're watching this content. It's like insanity. The SSPX commentary is insane right now. Like, if you just stop to think about this, just don't do the show. I'm telling you, fake an injury on the show, get electrocuted. Don't do the show.
Abuse. Oh, abuse is good. Yay.
But you have your little brother run away from home, run away from an abusive household, and you're like kind of having to drag him back in and be like, well, this is your home, the things suck about it, but you kind of have to be here, and you have to be under your parents. This is where you eat. This is where you sleep. This is where you have shelter.
So then he starts talking about this as if the SSPX was this abused kid and they're trying to bring him back home. And they're like listing all the good things. And the SSPX is like, this is where you abuse me. Why would I want to be there? Like, yeah, but there's nothing out there in the world. It's like, I go to the SSPX. I watched this ridiculous video and was not convinced to the so-called schism. I know they're making it seem like there's no Catholic religion in the world. In which case, why would you leave the SSPX? That is the dumbest video I've ever seen. Good evening, Mr. Nelson.
There's nothing, there's nothing outside of here. Everywhere else in the world is a barren desert. Everywhere else in the world just has death and destruction.
Yeah. Here's the problem with your analogy. His analogy is if you ran away from home, you literally go to hell. And then you leave home and you're in the SSPX where all of a sudden your priest isn't a psychomaniac or like some weird hip-hop dancer from Germany. And then you're like, yeah, this looks like the Catholic faith to me. I think I might want to stay here. And then, like, there's this guy here, Walmart Thomas Wagner, and he's like, yeah, but if you're there and you're getting the faith, and it's okay if you go there, but if you are there, you're actually in the desert. And then you're like, yeah, but what? If I'm in the desert and it's terrible and I'm dying, why is my life significantly better? Like, we gotta have some kind of test of the fruits here. No, we don't come to say no stinking common prayer. Come on. So literally everywhere else is hell if you're outside the Catholic Church. So it's okay to be abused inside the Catholic Church because if you're not, then you're in hell. So please leave the SSPX and come and be spiritually molested. What that means is the SSPX is so in the Navy, it's the first S stands for super, and then the next S stands for ship, and P stands for personnel, and X is for extreme. It's a super extreme personnel ship that carries lots of people. Yes.
Only poverty and only loss is outside of here. In here, that's where you have, that's where you have life. That's where you have salvation. And, things sometimes suck in here, but you have to be in here. And it's a sort of really hard sell, like on a sort of like rhetorical point of view.
Yes. It's really hard to sell the Catholic faith. The wellspring of truth, goodness, and niceness, it's really hard to sell.
It's almost like he's selling a false religion, Mr. Bowser.
It should be as hard to sell since the church is holy. Or it should be a hard sell since the church is holy. No, it shouldn't. I think this is sarcasm. They used car salesman.
But when you have Catholic laymen who attach themselves to this schism, and you're trying to, give a sell, give a sort of like almost like you're a used car salesman. You're going out there, you're trying to sell the used car to the person, and the tires falling off, and the window's shattered, and it doesn't even start. Take.
I get it anymore. What is he talking about? I don't get it. So the used car that the windows are shattered, it doesn't start, the wheels are falling off, is the perfect society made from the side of Christ on Mount Calvary. That's what we're supposed to believe. And because that's true, therefore don't go to the SSPX, because you might have a good life or something. Like, instead, I want you to look in the mirror. And I want you to think about yourself. What would I look like if I didn't ever sleep for the rest of my life? Now don't sleep for the rest of your life. That's fantastic. That's what we want you to do.
Oh, that sounds retarded, Mr. Bowser.
Exactly. Why?
Takes 3 or 4, turns of the key to actually start the car, and you're trying to convince a person to spend money on this thing, and they have a nice car at home, and it's all fine.
They have a nice car at home in this analogy, and it's all fine. So why would you buy the decrepit thing? Like at this point, we might as well just all become Protestants, because this is so visibly incorrect. I'm losing my mind.
Dude, you're more of a doomer than I am.
Yeah, he is. What about the kids?
And my kids, don't even get me started on the kids stuff, because that's even worse. People think that they bring their kids to a Novus Ordo Mass and sort of live within that in parish life. They're imperiling the souls of their children, which in many cases is not entirely inaccurate. Not entirely inaccurate. Imperiling the souls of their children, which in many cases is not entirely inaccurate. So it's like, what am I sort of supposed to do when I'm talking to these people, and this is what I'm selling to them.
Why should you leave the SSPX? Let me break it down for you, Master Bowser. You should leave the SSPX. What are you doing? Sorry about that immodesty. She definitely did not go to SSPX high school. You should leave the SSPX so your children will lose the faith, and all their souls will be imperiled and spiritually neglected, and you will go to hell. That is why you should leave the SSPX. Thank you for my TED Talk. This is the best advertisement for the SSPX I've ever seen. Like, how do you do a show why you shouldn't go to the SSPX, and the whole time all you're saying is reasons why you should go to the SSPX? I tell you, the world has been broken. The SSPX have broken the world completely. After this, it's like, okay, I've changed my mind about the SSPX. I'm going. Nothing is holding me back, because apparently the opposite of everything I hate is the SSPX. So now let's get on to someone who lost his mind and crashed out so hard. And now this is the opposite. This is the only other part we have of the show. We have 5 clips. If you want to make people not go to the SSPX, show them Kennedy Hall defending the SSPX. Kennedy Hall is so out of his mind with liberalism
and denial of submission to authority, he doesn't even understand the argument for going to the SSPX. Here, let me light it. Oh, give me the epic. Where's the epic pan? Where is the epic pan?
Oh, I think it is on the screen, Master Bowser.
Yes. All right. So the epic pan in the SSPX. No, it's not on the screen because I have to present the other thing. I'll present the other thing. Present the other thing. I'll present the other thing. Okay. So the SSPX. This little circle right here. And inside this circle is only good stuff. And because of that, Kennedy Hall is going to say, it's automatically good. See, it's good. Put a big good. And the reason why it's good is because people have opinions. So we have a little O for opinions. So because people have opinions about what's good, therefore you can go to the SSPX. This is the stupidest argument ever. You just say, because the SSPX is good and I have a moral obligation to be good, moral obligation, a big M, to be good, and since the SSPX are good, then I go to the SSPX, and then you just stop. And you stop arguing everything else. You just say, that's it, 5 minutes, you're done. Instead, what we're going to get is Kennedy Hall's crashing out, losing his mind, because apparently, where am I? What am I doing? Kennedy Hall was right about something? Because apparently, the thing that matters the most in the world to Kennedy Hall is listening to his own voice for 90 minutes. Instead of a contest, listening to this guy thinking, did he take Adderall or something? Did he drink 25 cups of coffee? Because this guy won't shut up. He's talking for 90 minutes and he starts repeating himself. He had nothing to talk about. Anyway, welcome to the next clip. Why Kennedy Hall is the Pope, the SSPX is the church, and everyone outside Canada is going to hell. Oh.
This is your brain on modernism?
Since you now know that you're neither excommunicated nor schismatic as a layperson, and that this does apply, that applies to the priests of the SSPX as well, which was vindicated by, I think it was Father Murray on EWTN.
Yeah, it was vindicated by him in 1994. But that's another question altogether. Okay, so since you know that everything you do is okay in the SSPX, keep going. Okay, that's the end of the video. His video should have been 20 seconds long. So how did he talk for 90 minutes if that's how he starts his show? The answer is, he goes, probabilism. It's probably true, but we don't know it's true. It could be true, but we don't know that it's not true, but it could be. Yes, he does this for 90 minutes. Please end the world. Oh, it's only the opinion of the Pope that it's bad. Good night. Have a good night, Daryl. Be sure to sleep with one sock on. If you sleep with two socks, you are in sock schism. His beard was actually really good. I love that line. If only indulgences were so easy. Your reminder that Dr. Quaz is quasetic, quas-heretic, and is self-quas-communicated into quas-schism and is quas-apostate. Okay, someone needs to teach Sede Picante about how grammar works, because none of this makes any sense at all. Quasetic? Quas-communicated? What are these words? Anyway.
All right, let's pull up this article here by Dr. K. All right, so here it is. So here is Dr. K's recent thing. It's on the SSPX controversy, just came out today, and it's on his Substack. As a philosopher and theologians, I can make convincing arguments on both sides.
Yes. Okay. Let me just explain something to Kennedy Hall, who's not watching this show. And if he is, I would be embarrassed. Your duty, the actual thing a philosopher does, is consider multiple positions. That's the point of philosophy. So when Dr. K says,
oh, as a philosopher, I can think for both sides. It's like, oh, as an athlete, I can use my legs to move. Oh. As a human being, I use my lungs to breathe. And then I use my mouth to eat food.
Like, yes, we get it. Basic human existence exists for you, Dr. Quaz. Yes. Like, oh my goodness. Like, can these people be more pretentious? I say they cannot.
As an editor, and he said, if you think one or the other position is obviously self-evidently exceptionlessly correct and a no-brainer, then I believe you might be a simpleton. Simpleton is the proper way, is the correct way of saying idiot, by the way.
Yes. If you think there's actual truth in the Catholic Church, you're an idiot. Dr. Kwasniewski, thanks. Thank you for that. In the next clip, blah, 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 he mentions me. I tell you, Kennedy Hall is actually the same age as Sede Picante mentally. He's mentally the same exact age as Sede Picante. He's like, what? I got DMs? I got DMs from someone I don't DM today? Ain't that cool? Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Wow. They want to talk about the American Reform guy? Oh, come on. I was so excited to get these DMs. I think I'll talk about this on my stream. Oh, I'm so important.
Blah, 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 blah. He mentions me. Blah, 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 blah. He mentions me. Blah, 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 blah. He mentions...
I usually read articles by going blah, 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 blah. Now let's get to the part where I get to talk about myself. That's usually how I read articles. I usually go, blah, blah, blah. Am I mentioned in this article? Blah, 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 blah. And oh, there I am. Okay, it is now an article.
Me.
Yes, this is CDP pretending to do accents level of bad. Simpleton is not the same as idiot. It's not even the same as imbecile. There's Brian in the chat. Brian, he's like, look at me. I'm so important. In this clip, Kennedy Hall is right twice a day. Humble brag.
I know that I'm probably a huge idiot, but sometimes a broken clock is right, and it's actually twice a day. So it's sort of a humble brag.
Okay. So why is Kennedy Hall doing content? Hey.
I know that 90% of the time I'm an idiot. Everything I say is wrong. I lie to the audience. I misrepresent the world. And everything I've ever done is a big lie. I don't have children. I don't even live in Canada. I don't even go fishing. I'm a big liar. Thank you for watching my show and give me money. Oh, isn't this fantastic? Don't you love it when I lie to my audience? And then I'm like, oh, please support everything in my lie.
Yeah. Maybe instead of just being like Kevin Davis and going, oh, I'm not very smart, man, just shut up, stop talking about yourself, and do content. Like, what is this with this? Hey, guys, have we talked about me? I know I was told by someone I'm pretty stupid. Can we talk about me for a bit? Yeah, that's right. So the SSPX, that's me. It's like, oh, my God, why are you talking about yourself? You are really happy. A notorious heretic, Kwasniewski, who denies the sanctity of Pius X. Wait. You're quoting someone who denies the sanctity of Pius and the authority of Pius X, and you belong to a society named Pius X, and you are happy about him quoting you.
That is because everything in Tradlandia, Master Bowser, is self-serving, inbred thoughts. Yes, they are all in bed with each other, all having the same exact thought. Oh,
it's true. Certainly the lay faithful who attend mass at an SSPX chapel, even ordinarily, like myself, are not under any censure whatsoever simply for that fact. They are not schismatic. They need no rite or process to return to full communion, having never left it. And here's where I almost fell to my chair. Kennedy Hall's analysis seems quite sound and reliable to me.
Yeah, so apparently a canon lawyer said Kennedy Hall is right. So now Kennedy Hall is saying the same argument they've been making for 30 years, and then they're like, oh, let me look at the exact same argument they made for the last 30 years. The obvious implication is that this guy's not the Pope. The Pope got canon law wrong. Oh, Tucho got canon law wrong.
Oh, don't you know, Master Bowser? All you need is the Bible and the SSPX. And then you're like, oh, I have the Bible and the SSPX. What further need have I the institutional church or the mystical body? I just need the SSPX and my Bible.
Yeah, I know. We cut all the parts where he just reads Bible passages. Because why? Why are you doing this? Are you a Protestant? Maybe he is. How will we know?
My friends, pigs are flying. Oops.
Pigs are flying! A professional commentator who makes himself the head of a movement got something right. Okay. I cannot stop harping on this. The man who gets 10,000 views didn't publicly commit mortal sins lying about the Catholic religion. Woo! We're so happy! What? This is the level we're at. Right, the level we're at is...
Please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.
Oh, yes, we must win 3 times a day, Master Bowser.
What? No way! 3 times a day? No, that's like a miracle. Kennedy Hall could be right 3 times. Pigs aren't just flying, they're shooting lasers out of their tails.
Ugh, I made the background wrong there. The pigs are flying. Hell is frozen over. I was right about something. I'm not trying to brag. But that made me very happy.
Who cares?
So, by the way, people getting excommunicated. By the way, people getting excommunicated. I'm right every once in a while, so thank me. Oh. I can't. Oh, we got another super tip. Oh, thank you very much for the $10, Peter Nelson, or $20, Peter Nelson. Peter Nelson says, the CDP show is the #1 late night trad show. Master Bowser, are we trads?
No. We're like deliberately not trads. We just happen to cover like orthodox Sadie content. Or at least a little bit something. In the 30s, you're losing them. CDP! No, my counter says 47. I don't know. Maybe. We're trying to lose. Look, I purposely put anime pictures in the thumbnail so trads don't watch my show. I'm trying to get the trads to go away because the trads annoy me, even if they're my main audience. Don't you know? Anyway, part 2. My conscience is bigger than the Pope. Well, there's Olin with his scheme about things.
What Dr. K is appealing to here is a perennial principle. Whether he's naming it or not, but he mentions Thomas Aquinas, mentions John Henry Newman and things, mentions the true understanding of conscience.
Yes.
What that is, as a general philosophical principle, is in the Catholic tradition for dealing with questions of law, whether they be moral law or whether they be law, because the law of the church is moral.
Okay. I can't anymore. So Kennedy Hall does this thing when he doesn't know what to say. He repeats himself. Hey, there's a clip of him somewhere on my computer of him saying, you know what they use for the mash? They use mash for the mash. And then for the bread, they use bread. And for the wine, they use wine. You're like, are you an idiot? He does it again. How this guy's a professional commentator. Hey, my JP3.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Bowser?
Hey, for our next statement, we're going to say the statement again to say the statement again. And that's how we say the statement again, by saying the statement again.
Oh, that seems retarded, Mr. Bowser.
I know, but this professional content creator who feeds his 6 children and his wife and himself and their pet moose does this. I can't
What that
losing
is,
it.
as a general philosophical principle.
Yeah, a general philosophical principle, la la. La 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 la.
Oh, this show is fantastic, Mr. Bowser.
Is in the Catholic tradition for dealing with questions of law, whether they be moral law or whether they be law.
Moral law or law.
Law, because the law of the church is moral. It's impossible to separate the law of the church as far as canon law from moral theology ultimately. Why?
So he's going to say all canon law is moral, including the one that says you're excommunicated. So appealing to morality is redundant. He somehow made a argument so bad he ended up disproving the SSPX if he was right. Now we know Kennedy Hall is never right about anything, so we can just excuse him for being an idiot. We desperately need Bishop Goldaddy to excommunicate Kennedy Hall. Please, Bishop Goldaddy, excommunicate Kennedy Hall, please. Because law would also be moral law, and it would also be civil law or penal law, which is the part that's in the canon law, or human law, or civil law, or law. It's like, what are we talking about? But all canon law is moral, including the one that says you're excommunicated. So you could never, ever appeal to conscience against the law. That's the problem. Because he's saying my personal conscience invalidates the laws of the church. So if it's my personal conscience that I can kiss SSPX girls in miniskirts, even though that's an act of invalid excommunication and schism, because I personally have a conscience, therefore there is no schism, there is no pope, there is no church. There is just law, because he's in law land. Shh.
Indigo Authority, you're not invited to comment on the stream anymore because you're making intelligent observations not made by self-serving idiots online. Dare we hope so. If you appeal harder, then the law goes away. Yes. Good night, Christine. Thank you all for coming. God bless you. May I keep you. Take a look at the banner. Oh, who's the banner? Oh, no, Twitter block. I block people all the time on Twitter. Just don't tell them.
Continuing the clip, here Kennedy Hall gives the corporate church, which is why I give this natural substance argument to counter this. Because if you use the corporate church, it makes it sound like it's a business. And I think the church is better understood as a community of individuals orientated towards the worship of God. By using bad analogies, you ruin the church. Please kill me.
The church is a society of members, and it is a spiritual society. So the very thing that brings us into the Catholic Church so that we can be governed by her as a society of human beings is a spiritual initiation, is a spiritual membership.
Did I pick on Imbarito yet? No. Mr. Nelson, I have so many videos to watch. I was just looking at them, and it's like I have no idea what to do. And then one of my best friends sent me this video, and he was angry with what Kennedy Hall is talking about. So we just did this. Like, literally, I could be doing content for the rest of the year with just what was dropped this week. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but I could. I could become an SSPX defender, defending them again from Kennedy Hall at this rate.
You are a part of this society governed by laws.
So you're a part of a society governed by laws, which is the same thing as governed by morality.
Because of your baptism.
Yes. The church is an office building with a code for behavior and other things. The reason why I don't like this definition is because if you say it like being attached to the substance of the church gives you the natural end of worshiping God and living the moral life. Therefore, the law is interior to you, and your conscience submits to the law interior to you, rather than it being placed on you from the outside by the corporate body of the church.
But Master Bowser, most people don't think about it that way. They like the idea of you're on a baseball team.
Okay, I'm on a baseball team.
And the baseball team is the church.
Okay, the baseball team is the church.
And then you're playing the baseball game.
Okay, then we're playing the baseball game. You can tell I'm stalling for time because I have no idea what I'm doing with this analogy. But I keep going on.
Well, yes, and the laws are the umpires, and sometimes the umpires are wrong.
That doesn't work anymore because the umpires are infallibly protected. And the umpires believe they're infallibly protected my entire life except for this year. This is the first year umpires are no longer infallibly protected. Isn't that amazing? We used to have infallible Catholic umpires, and now they have review.
Oh, that's like with the SSPX. You wave your hand. Let me get the hand out. You go like this. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, not excommunicated. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, did the schism just go away? Bing, bing, bing. Oh, all my sacraments are valid. Oh, isn't this wonderful?
To be Catholic, you must be Catholic. Is Kennedy Hall going to say this? Not only is there a law, but to be Catholic, you must be Catholic. To be Catholic, you must be Catholic to be Catholic. No.
So what makes you governable by this code of law called canon law, and then by the actions of the various jurists within the church at the different levels, what makes you governable is a spiritual communion.
It's a spiritual communion. It's not a real communion. Because if it's a spiritual communion, how come they can control my natural actions? Like how I have to have two witnesses at my marriage. Is two witnesses a spiritual thing or is it a natural thing? That's in the Code of Canon Law, by the way, I believe. I think it was the last time I checked. Maybe they took it out. So it's not a spiritual law all the time. Some of it is civil law. And it doesn't refer to morality. It refers to custom, which you can't defect from, but it's not primarily morality. This is why I don't understand why he's talking about this. He hasn't thought this through.
And in order to be a Catholic, you have to be Catholic.
Oh, no. He said it. No. Okay. Here we go again. In order to be a human being, you've got to be a human being. It's the most profound thing ever.
Catholic, you have to be Catholic. And in order to be a Catholic, you have to be Catholic. And in order to be a Catholic, you have to be Catholic. And in order to be a Catholic, you have to be Catholic. So what it's dealing with the code, when it's dealing with penalties and crimes and all this kind of stuff, ultimately, these have to be coherent with spiritual and moral and theological matters.
Yeah, or it wouldn't be Catholic. If it wasn't coherent, it wouldn't be blessed by the Holy Spirit. Put another way, if the Holy Spirit didn't bless it, it would be incoherent.
Oh, but Sadie P, you think that the whole thing is incoherent.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Sadie. William the Samaritan.
I think the difference he is trying to indicate is that some laws are moral and some are procedural. Moral laws are always binding, procedural laws are accidental and fungible. And that is entirely correct until the Pope decided that he was going to make the making of a bishop a moral law, by which he attached certain penalties to it. And then you will say, that's not moral law. Where is that in the nature? It's like, no. But the better understanding is to say it is a moral law, because then you wouldn't be able to say, oh, well, the Pope just has an opinion. Because you could say, was it a procedural law? You could say that. But then you'd have to be able to explain church law as opposed to civil law and not moral law. And I don't know that Kennedy Hall knows the difference here. There's different levels of law for things, but if you break the procedure, you would necessarily still get the penalty. That's why the better argument is just to say, oh, I don't want my children to lose the faith. I'm just going to be SSPX. And all this law stuff, I don't know about it, so I'm just going to be quiet. That's right. If you just were quiet about errors, then you don't get convicted of them. Go ask Taylor Mine. Go and say, Taylor Mine, if I'm about to commit a great crime against the state, and then they ask me if I committed the crime against the state, shouldn't I not say anything so that I can't be convicted of being a criminal? But instead, we get a Kennedy Hall who's convicting himself by doing bad theology. Like, you want to see about idiots damning themselves to hell. Just watch Kennedy Hall. The dude cannot shut up. Oh, is you still with us, Luke? Oh, no. He was excommunicated and solemnly declared schismatic.
Even though CDP let him on the show anyway.
And CDP never banned him.
And CDP let him talk, and he had nothing to say.
Oh, but then he's mad at CDP anyway.
Even though CDP has only banned one person, and CDP has banned one person, and Christina's banned one person. But no, we can't be friends anymore, because if you were friends with me, you have to believe all of my friends. I'm going to shoot someone.
No, I do not mean that the procedural laws are not morally binding, just that they can be changed. This is entirely true. Thank you, William the Samaritan, for your comment.
Yes, this is the point.
Oh, wrong voice. Oh, yes, this is the point. You plead the fifth. If you're an SSPX, you plead the fifth, and then you're fine. That's Sede Picante's Sede Picante's analysis of the situation is if you're a lay SSPXer, you plead the fifth. And then you just say, I wish my bishops wouldn't plead the fifth, but I'm not over them. They're over me, and I submit in holy obedience. Oh, and then I have no problems. Oh, wow. It's really hard to defend the SSPX. Oh.
Anyway, yes, because it is of the nature, it must be coherent. And if the matters are incoherent, it would cause canon law to be defective. If a society has defective laws, it would not be a perfect society, because it would need something outside of itself to fix its defective law. But since the church is not a defective society, it's a perfect society, its laws are all coherent by its nature. So, in other words, even if this guy was the Pope and the laws were real, what you would have to do is humbly submit to it and then trust God would accept your humility in submitting to the laws, and it would cover all your sins.
But no one's going to do it, Master Bowser.
Well, why not, JP3?
Well, because they want their children to stay in the faith.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, they don't have the fifth in Canada. Oh, so in Canada, morality is completely different. No, he didn't. Definitely not. I know, right? All these influences have convinced me that if you're not quoting an impermanent proof, so you're liable to fall into heresy very quickly. This is why Sede Picante only does commentary instead of doing original content, because he doesn't know anything. Sede Picante is stupid.
And then Kennedy Hall says all canon law is about sin. CDP needs a whole voting block at the imperfect council. No. If you guys try to elect me, because they're not going to elect a bishop, they already said, Bishop Wall said we're going to elect a priest. So technically speaking, they could elect CDP as Pope. Technically speaking. Because CDP is not married. He would just need holy orders and a consecration as the bishop. And then they just give it to him. No! The church is done. It's the end times. The whole world is done. Excuse me. Let's get back to the show.
Because essentially what's happening in the Code of Canon Law essentially what's happening is if there's a crime attached to anything, it's because it's a sin.
So it's a sin if you don't have people at your marriage? You don't have 2 witnesses? No, it would just be an invalid marriage. You just have wasted everyone's time. You could be ignorant of it too, so it wouldn't be a sin. So procedural laws are not always moral. You would have to know, you would have to intentionally commit the violation of the procedural laws, which the SSPX did. Which is why this argument is bad. Let's continue on. Rewind a little bit.
Anything. It's because it's a sin. And then for it to be a sin, it has to be a sin. And then for it to be a sin, it has to be a sin.
Wait, is he doing the sin is a sin thing? Wait, he did the law is a law thing, a law, and now he did the Catholic is a Catholic thing, and now he's doing the sin is a sin thing? This is a professional content creator, Kennedy Hall. Hey. This is the game of golf. It's a golf thing. Wow. It's like, I can't. The sin is a sin thing.
And then for it to be a sin, it has to be a sin. And then for it to be a sin, it has to be a sin.
Oh. It's not sin law. Ah! Oh no. Oh, isn't this where Phil comes on and says boring? Oh, Phil's like, he gets on, he's like, why are we talking about bad stuff? Boring. And then he's there and he watches the entire show. Share this tab. Part 3. Please end everything by ending everything when everything ends. Welcome to Explaining Things with Kennedy Hall, where we say the same exact words to explain everything. No. No. Do you remember invincible stupidity? Now, if you didn't think, it's not a sin. Therefore, you can't be excommunicated. We have a new invincible stupidity. No.
It has to be a sin. You have to actually have sinned. You have to have sinned to be guilty of the crime. You could be wrongly judged or something, but you have to be guilty of the sin.
So if you're not guilty of the sin because you have a bad conscience, then you're not guilty of anything. I call it the principle of invincible conscience.
The principle of invincible conscience. The amount of heresies and new theological ideas that Kennedy Hall comes up with is incredible. You would just not be liable to the sin because you didn't have full cognitive jurisdiction to commit the sin. But if you didn't have full cognitive jurisdiction to commit the sin, you likewise couldn't make the bishops. Do you see how this argument doesn't help you? Hey, JP3, I have full cognitive inability to do a stream.
Then why are we streaming?
Exactly! No, wow, it works for her.
That's good. This logic works for everything. And now Kennedy Hall will teach us about the law. The law has to be a law in order for the law to work. What if I only contemplate it? Well, then it's the sin of contemplation. And now Kennedy Hall will teach us about the law. We already said that. Play the stream.
With law, you want to be as restrictive you want to be as liberal, not in the sense of liberalism, but providing as much liberty as possible and providing only as much restriction as is necessary. This is a Catholic principle. It's a common sense principle. Because there will arise many matters of conscience that cannot be foreseen because the situation and the circumstances will not be foreseen.
Oh, we need to play this one slowly.
Providing only as much restriction as is necessary.
So the law is supposed to be as least oppressive as possible.
This is a Catholic principle. It's a common sense principle.
And it's a Catholic principle. I don't know how it's a Catholic principle because it's actually a common sense principle. In this video, Kennedy Hall just claims to speak for Catholic tradition like 3 or 4 times. That is called lying.
Because there will arise many matters of conscience.
No, he's going to talk about the sin of murder later. Don't worry.
That cannot be foreseen because the situation and the circumstances will not be foreseen.
Did you know the truth of a situation changes according to your conscience?
Really? I thought only guilt would change according to your conscience because it's what you're doing in the moral action that you would be guilty of.
No. So, for example, if there's drones outside, then you can shoot your neighbor.
Why?
Because there were drones outside. You didn't foresee that there would be drones outside, so now you can shoot your neighbor.
But I don't have a neighbor, so can I shoot the drones?
No, those are government property.
Wherein men of goodwill could act rightly in the context therein.
So men of goodwill could act rightly in the context they're in, according to their conscience, with events they didn't foresee happening.
Except that we foresaw the SSPX making bishops against the permission of the Pope for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years.
Yes.
But they didn't foresee it happening on July 1st. See, they foresaw it happening on July 2nd, but not on July 1st. So if they had done it on July 2nd, then it would be a mortal sin and schism. But because they did it on July 1st, and this is the invincibility of conscience.
In a situation wherein another man may make a different decision. And because we can't foresee that, there has to be room for basically benefit of the doubt and exceptions.
Yes. So pretty much you can literally do anything you want as long as you can just explain it away. You can disobey the Pope as long as you say, well, I didn't foresee that I would have to disobey the Pope to get what I wanted. How is this not Protestant? This is where the SSPX defenders on social media are completely stupid. You're like, you listen to this, you're like, I'm going back to the Novus Ordo, man. This guy's bonkers.
Ooh, the morality of the law, since all the law is moral, is whatever I want it to be. That's the law. Oh, I think I'll run over this pedestrian because I didn't foresee the future where he was in the way of my car. And I foresaw the future where I had a green light, even though the light is red right now because there's a pedestrian. Oh, I ran him over. Oh, no. I guess I'm going to heaven. Oh, welcome to Upside Down World. Oh. Probabilism, it might be true, therefore you can go to the SSPX. This is pure Gnosticism or just make it up as you go religion. Oh, Newman's toasted conscience. Oh. And Go Authority, we don't do marriage content on this show. Then we get reviewed by Annulment Proof, and I never bothered to watch it because I don't care what he says. But like, you're going to get us reviewed by Annulment Proof.
Probabilism is the guiding principle that you find in many different men, like Saint Alphonsus Liguori, just a whole list of men.
Okay. So probabilism is when you have an unsettled event, like, for example, usury. Usury is not a settled event because, according to the actual commentators, there's separate ways to identify the error according to the situations. So until it's ruled on, you can't make a blanket statement that a larger category of the same type of action would be sinful. Hence, in the 16th century in Spain, the king paid usury on the national debt. The King, however, among those debts that he did, he also took loans out to build monasteries in the New World. Those loans did not have usury attached to them, because that would have been considered immoral according to the opinions of all theologians, because those investments are not liabilities, so therefore there's no just compensation for taking on liabilities. Thus, the law of usury in the 16th century was very complicated. And this is where probabilism is a real thing. Explicitly denying entire sections of canon law because you want what you want is not a subject for probabilism. Oh, thank you for that, Master Bowser. You should see Master Bowser when he does these podcasts. He's like waving his arms around, explaining it. This is why he uses Muppets, so he won't get embarrassed at how he talks with his hands. Oh.
And this is how it works. There will be situations that have to do with law, like actual law, or...
He really said law again? I need to play that again. Okay.
Like actual law, or moral law.
Like, I don't even know what he's talking about.
Ooh, candy. It's like, is he talking to a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, a 6-month-year-old? What is he doing? This is horrible.
Wherein there are a number of different positions that are significant, and men of goodwill come down on different sides.
Who cares about men of goodwill? We're discussing truth. Like, why is he? If you have goodwill and you're like pro gay marriage, I mean, you pretty much can have it. But I'm a man of goodwill, and I don't agree with it, so it probably isn't true for me. But it probably is true for you. What is this? He doesn't even know where to use it.
And it may be the case that one of the positions is even a minority position.
Delete the stream.
Now, we're not talking about like every position's valid.
Yes, we're not talking about every position is valid. Including disobeying the Pope explicitly is not a valid position. But Dr. Peter Kwasniewski thinks it is. I'm gonna shoot someone with a chicken sandwich.
Anyway, so how can there be several opinions if there is a written law with principles and an infallible supreme head who has spoken on the matter? So when did the church become the wild, wild west?
Because when we look, for example, at the history of the church, there are positions that are minority positions, but then later adopted, even though they weren't the dominant position. We can't just write these positions off because a position is a minority position does not mean that it's not true.
Because a position is not a majority position does not necessitate it being untrue. That's irrelevant. Hey, look at. Did you know there's a majority position that abortion is bad? But there is a minority position that abortion is good. I mean, it involves bad things, and those bad things are pretty bad and infinite dignity of human beings. So why not? You see, Kennedy Hall is trying to destroy the Society of Pius X. And here I am, Sede Vacantis, who will not go to the Society of Pius X because I don't trust them. I'm having to defend them because Kennedy Hall is trying to nuke the society. Like, what kind of an idiot is this man? JP3, what do you have to say about this?
Oh, I think he is right. See, most people love vanilla ice cream, but we all know strawberry ice cream is the best ice cream.
No, it's not. No. Nobody puts strawberry ice cream in anything other than vanilla. If you have strawberry ice cream, you don't mix cherry and strawberry ice cream. You mix both of them with vanilla or chocolate. So that's not the best ice cream. Like, we just know this. And then he's like,
but maybe if there is minority position. Do you see how bad? This is why Mario Dirksen stopped doing regular shows, because Mario Dirksen used to look at this stuff and try to comment on it, and he was like, okay, no, these guys are actually just idiots. And then Sandy Pagani was like, ooh, are they idiots? I love idiots. Oh, gimme.
And the historical record rebukes that, right?
Oh, a chicken sandwich, a pollo sandwich. What are we even talking about? What are we talking about? I can't. Because so I need to explain something. Oh, what are you going to explain, Master Bowser? The law is moral, right? Kennedy Hall said all the law is moral. And now we're talking about probabilistic moral laws. That's literally what we're talking about here. So it's okay for the SSPX to make bishops because there's a probability, a probable moral situation, a good and wrong, a right and wrong, a good and evil situation where making bishops would be evil and sometimes it would be good. This is literal relativism. Kennedy Hall's defense of the SSPX is to be a relativist and a nominalist. And this is the defense of the SSPX need to excommunicate this guy. Oh, blueberry ice cream, very good, delicious. Strawberry ice cream. Remember that trading does not exist. Oh.
So one of the guys who's been so great on this question is Michael Matt. Thank you, Mr. Michael Matt. And
wait, it literally is trading. It's literally all the same people quoting each other. Here's the source why I'm right. Michael Matt. Oh, yes, this is fantastic.
Also, John Henry Weston.
Okay. In this clip, truth is only true because when it suits me, because Bishop Schneider. Oh.
This probabilist position, which is how we need to look at these matters of law and conscience. Bishop Schneider is a great example of the very common sense view that we use to explain this phenomenon. Now, that doesn't mean someone is not allowed the opinion to go with the strict letter of the law. Of course they can.
So now it's literally just a matter of opinions. So what Bishop Schneider said was that if you look at the historical nature of the bishops, bishops were made by their patriarchs, not by the Pope. So if for the patriarchs, they would essentially make all of their own bishops, and the Pope would make the patriarchs, and then he would make all of his own bishops. Because of that, therefore, we can just pretend that we can just say, oh, I'm just doing how we always did it, even though the Pope said exactly the opposite. And then Kennedy says, you can hold to everything the Novus Ordo says, and it's true, but I'm personally just going to make up whatever I want to make up.
But with the strict letter of the law, even if many canonists or whatever propose it, even hierarchs, it doesn't make it true.
It doesn't make it true.
In this clip, hyperpapalism. Oh.
In any event, people talk about this hyperpapalism thing. And yeah, it's a big deal. I think it's deeper than that, though, because I think it's just a problem with being able to think properly. Like it's
a problem if you can't think properly. So we don't need morality. We don't need an infallible church. We need you to be able to think properly.
Ooh, is this a thinking? Well, I need to thinking, and then I will thinking properly. Oh.
Anyway, I think in a way it's like more than hyperpapalism. It's more like an inability to make certain distinctions and
certain distinctions like I want my Latin Mass and give it to me because I want it.
Yeah, that's as far as the only distinctions I think I've really heard so far. I like my stuff. That means I get it. You better tink tink. You know, he who hears you hears me. It broke me out of R&R so hard that I couldn't even believe it was a real Catholic principle said by a real Catholic bishop or a real Catholic pope, aka Leo the 13th, Pius the 12th. And then you realize they literally do not believe in the gospel. R&R do not believe in the gospel. Meanwhile, there's SSPX priests who are trying their best to save souls. We have Kennedy Hall spreading Protestantism and liberalism. We use the word liberalism in the ranks of the SSP. It's like they need to get rid of this guy. By the way, we have another 10 minutes still to go. That's how many clips, because this guy is so
I'm not
We are going here all night. If you need to leave the stream and go get a drink, use the bathroom, do whatever you want to do, please do. I'm going to be here another hour.
theologian, which is why I make sure I talk to theologians before I make statements publicly, because I
But you're not a theologian, so you make sure to talk to theologians. Have you just thought about being right?
don't want to make mistakes.
Yes. And then you talk to the Quaz, who's a notorious heretic. Because when you talk to a heretic, you're not guilty of heresy. He's guilty of heresy, not you. Waiting for the awul. Do you need an awul? Okay, we'll get you. They shall. Done. But only if your conscience says you can be.
Ooh, have you know this is a show? And at a show, you could have video, and comment. It's fantastic.
And then things happen. And whenever they happen, it's a happen. And that's just how we explain things. Because if we had to explain things according to the law, it would be a law, an evil, a good, a bishop. Welcome to the way Kennedy Hall uses what should have been a brain, but he didn't turn it on. Wait, Peter Nelson is still here. I thought he went to bed. No, okay. If these producers produce any more AI, do you know what Chris Jackson was? He was DMing me once. He's like, "Hey, did you see this AI song?" And I was like, only boomers use AI, right? I automatically hate your song because it's AI. And then all these people are like glazing him. They're like, Chris Jackson, it's the greatest song ever. It's the greatest song ever, Chris Jackson. I love this song. Oh, I can't believe how good this song is. And I'm like, I'd rather stick my head into literal cocaine and sniff it. That's right. Japanese schoolgirls sniffing cocaine. That's me. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I just happened to cut that and I keep on wanting to use it. Anyway, so now Kennedy Hall is responding to people using Quatra Supra 1973 Pius IX. Theology is done by my friends.
My friends.
Oh,
my friends.
My friends.
You don't know what you're doing.
Oh.
You don't know what you're doing. You can't take lines from various encyclicals or writings from saints that are for a particular context, and you can't use them anachronistically, meaning against their historical context, and then apply them to the universal church as if that's something you make a judgment on. You can't do that. That is completely anti the theological method of the church.
So what he's saying here is if someone wrote a document at a point in time, it only applies at that point in time because it offends him personally if you bring it up. If you've read the document, Quatra Supra, it talks about the origins of the Eastern Orthodox schism. It's actually much broader than what Kennedy Hall is talking about. And he's like, if you say that is universal, then you're just being wrong. And
it's like if a teenager wanted to make a point that he was right about something, he'd just say anything to make the point until he was right.
It's actually offensive to theology.
Yes. Your reminder, Pius X condemned historicism, which is the error that Kennedy Hall just said. It's offensive to theology to take things out of their historical context. You had to prove the historical context was the deciding matter in the truth of the event. You can't just be like, oh, by the way, Kennedy has also literally done this because he's ignorant with pianos in church, by the way. But, that's a different story. Whatever's in Vogue. What is Vogue? Is that a magazine with fashion? Like, the people do the catwalk thing? And you're like, oh, I am in Vogue. Like, oh, look, they're in Vogue. Like, literally. Okay. Whatever. My friends. Now Kennedy goes into a massive cope session. Yay!
The practice of the church does not match how you're using Pius IX's opinion in that particular letter written to a particular set of bishops dealing with basically what amounted to like an argument over jurisdiction and borderline Eastern Orthodoxy problems going on in Armenia.
I'd like a quote, please. Like, it was literally written to the Armenian bishops, but I'd like an actual quote. Like, can you say, like, for example, in paragraph 18, it clearly says this, which makes it explicitly relative.
That would require work, Master Bowser. Kennedy Hall is literally here to tell you that everything he says is right and he is God.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Armenia. That is not. If we're going to do that, then we're going to be starting to argue like the Protestants. Everyone loves to call the SSPX Protestant. We're going to be arguing about we're going to be arguing like the Protestants, meaning proof texting out of context. Call no man father.
Okay, what does this have to do with anything? Hey, do you know the Code of Canon Law is proof texting against the SSPX?
Oh, I thought it was literally about the Code of Canon Law that literally governs certain actions.
No, it's proof texting. How dare you quote a canon of the Code of Canon Law against me? That's proof texting, error, fallacy, proof texting.
But what if the Code of Canon Law literally says what the 1917 Code of Canon Law says, and they say the same thing? The bishops have to be made with papal mandate.
A proof texting. Hello, proof texting.
Well, why isn't it proof texting when you refer to St. Athanasius doing the same thing that's the SSPX?
Because I'm right.
Oh, so anything that works for the SSPX is not proof texting, even though it is proof texting. And anything that works against the SSPX is proof texting and therefore invalid.
Yeah, do you see how it works? Anything that... okay, we already explained how it is. We don't have to repeat ourselves 40 times.
What do your kids call you?
No, the whole video was a cup session, but it got really bad at this point.
Father, what do your kids call you? You stupid pulpit, you stupid papist. Relax, Luther.
Yes. Maybe bishop consecration shouldn't be literal, just like calling my man father should be literal, eh? Luther!
Or quite frankly, you're going to have if that's how you're going to do things, you're going to have a real hard time arguing against the Sedevacantist because you're going to adopt very similar reasoning. Because you're going to find like cum ex apostolatus, about 300 years old, talking about how no heretic can ever be elected pope.
Okay. We need to remember that Ryan Grant wrote a fantastic article on this, on cum ex, and Kennedy Hall has not read this article. Ryan Grant pointed out it was a penal law, meaning it had to be enforced by the Pope for it to be a real law. And now he's just taking the letter of the law that he didn't even update his brain after Ryan Grant wrote his excellent article, which, by the way, did nothing to solve Sedevacantism. And now he's still using the old version because Kennedy Hall does not change or update or grow in knowledge. He also does this a lot.
You're going to have a real hard time arguing against the Sedevacantist if that's how you're going to use things.
The state of a contest don't use pro primum. We use divine law principles from the Code of Canon Law and the canonists who commentate on it, by the way. Okay? So the SSPX are right, because if they aren't, then the cities are going to break your legs, because it's all a mafia game or something. Okay. Is that what's going on? All right, if the cities are right, they're going to come on you with their helicopters and make fun of you with stuffed animals. You don't want that.
You got to look at the letters. Got to look at, is it an encyclical? Is it a papal bull? Is it an apostolic constitution? Is it an apostolic exhortation? Was the language within whatever document it was used to define something? Did it apply to all circumstances? Did it apply to a particular circumstances? Was it addressed to the universal church? Did
you know a law becomes authoritative if you go Oh, that is fantastic, Master Bowser. We should do more in our videos.
I know. At this point, no one's going to watch the video this long, but it's actually a really interesting point. See, Bishop Sanborn says, whenever the Pope says, you pretty much just do, regardless of the context. And then Kennedy Hall says, well, I'm going to do anything unless I want to do it first. I'm SSPX. Wow. Like, oh, Kennedy Hall's just an idiot who's never been a Catholic.
Well, he might be an atheist at this point.
I know he's never read Satis Cognitum, which discusses this whole event very thoroughly, and it never once brings up infallibility. It's like Satis Cognitum 9, I think, where it says that when the Pope speaks, that's Christ speaking. You're like,
oh, that is Christ speaking? I thought it was a large elephant with a trunk speaking. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yes. I need to rewind this a little bit. We need to listen to more by the way.
Was used to define something. Did it apply to all circumstances? Did it apply to a particular circumstances? Was it addressed to the universal church? Papal bull. Is it an apostolic constitution? Is it an apostolic exhortation? Was the language within whatever document it was used to define something? Did it apply to all circumstances? Did it apply to a particular circumstances? Was it addressed to the universal church? If you don't know what you're doing, you need to shut your mouth.
Wait, did he just say that? I need to listen to that again.
A particular circumstances. Was it addressed to the universal church?
If you don't know what you're doing and you're literally saying da in your video, then you need to shut your mouth. But you see, me, the one saying that's like law is law and sin is sin, and ice cream is ice cream, and driving on the right side of the road is like driving on the right side of history. You should just shut up. But you see, me, I'm God. Just bow down and worship me already.
If you don't know what you're doing, you need to shut your mouth. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to shut your mouth. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to shut your mouth.
Yeah. Welcome to Kennedy Hall's brain being broken by the SSPX.
Lord Theodore says, Bishop Sanborn and I talked about this recently, where it doesn't matter the manner of teaching for Papal Magisterium. That is because the Papal Magisterium teaches according to the topic. So if it was according to how a wedding should be done, the Pope doesn't say, we declare, we define, we decree, usually, because it's a matter of procedural law and custom. And while it must be followed and it is authoritative, it's improper according to what the object, how the theology is said. This is why Kennedy Hall is a bad person who should not do theology. But essentially, everything the Pope says that is official is true, and that's what the Holy Spirit comes in. And if you can show me where the Holy Spirit has gotten things wrong, then we can have a conversation about papal infallibility. But since no one ever can, it always makes me wonder what's going on. You skipped the best part. We put more of them in. Let's play that again. I can't get over this.
Shut your mouth. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to shut your mouth. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Excuse me. How do you do da 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 da? And if you don't know what you're doing, you shut your mouth? Like, can you imagine a parent doing this to their kid? How quickly their kid would be like, okay, this parent is full of it. No, you're full of it. It's like, oh, hey, doesn't this car start up? This car starts off da 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 da. Okay, why did you say da 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 da? And he's like, oh, because the car starts. It starts. He's like, okay, start the car. You're like, it starts da 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 da. You're like, okay, so it doesn't start, right? Come on.
And if you're a public commentator, running your mouth, saying crazy things, proof texting like a Protestant or a state of a contest from this, that, and the other thing, we are going to be up the creek without a paddle, my friend.
Yes. So if you proof text, you're up the creek without a paddle, because we have no trust of the saints, their context, and reason. What we have to do is we have to, like, I don't believe any saints, I don't believe any popes or any context or any reason. See, the actual reason why annulment proof is hard to argue with is because he has a few really good, solid points about marriage and stuff. And he has quotes from saints. He has non-authoritative quotes from saints who were just giving their opinion. And that by itself is very hard to argue with, even though he's literally just pulling quotes in most cases, not all cases. It still is hard to argue against him. But then here we have Kennedy Hall. And Kennedy Hall saying, well, how dare you pull any quotes from anyone? What's wrong with you? It's like, huh? Tell me you don't know how theology works, Kennedy Hall. Oh, that isn't. Also, I want to push it out.
No, so thank you, Mr. Bowser. Mario Dirksen is right. They're idiots, and yes, this is true. It's really annoying. Look, I don't watch a lot of content right now, and this is why I only covered 2 videos in the show. It's because I'm watching League of Legends right now. There's the mid-season invitational, and SK Telecom T1 lost. We're very sad. Because it's really boring to watch consistently stupid people make consistently stupid arguments. Like, hi, I'm Mario Dirksen, and Kennedy Hall said that he was the Pope. Okay, why am I covering this?
If you just want to proof text, go for it. Go proof text the Church Fathers. Go proof text Thomas Aquinas. Well, you're not going to have the Immaculate Conception anymore.
So here he says, if you proof text, you're losing the Immaculate Conception.
That's not how proof texting works.
Oh, it's not, Master Bowser?
No, proof texting has to be a consensus of opinions on a point with teaching authority without the church either condemning or approving the teaching. Or else you just go with what the church has taught. And the church has taught that heresy and schism lead you out, or apostasy and schism sever the ties with the church. This is Mysticis Corpus Christi 23 or something, or 22. So if you're guilty of those sins, it's not just proof texted from Ligori that would make that true. It's actually the church has officially commented on those proof texts. So it's not a simple question of if you proof text, then you don't have the Fourth Marian dogma. But now we need to remind everyone, Kennedy Hall has literally publicly admitted he doesn't have to follow the Fourth Marian dogma. And when he did this, we deleted our channel because we couldn't believe any Catholic would ever say this. That's Kennedy Hall. He's a demon-possessed atheist, as far as we're concerned, which is why no one should ever watch him. Yes. I know these are Selah hours. We're 2 hours, and we've got 7 more minutes to look at. I have the video from Eric McCabe. I didn't have time to edit it down. I have it on my hard drive. We'll probably watch it on Saturday. And now we have random clips of pure insanity.
That's bad. It's not true. It's not the teaching of the church. It's a random comment out of context. Pius IX said, Io sono la tradizione. Io sono tradizione. I am the tradition. No, the Pope is not tradition. The Pope is the guardian of tradition. He's the vicarial head of the church with the authority of Christ, who's the head of and he's the head of the church on earth. He's not the master of tradition.
The Pope speaks, but you decide. He is no longer Peter, but you are Peter.
Like, I purchased him because it's literally what Father Cicada said all those 10 years ago. Everything goes back to whatever Father Cicada commented on. Like, no one reads Father Cicada, myself included. It's like, it's insane. No one's actually figured out how to defeat Father Cicada's critiques. And Father Cicada's a funny man. Anyway, I think Kennedy Hall is literally drunk on traditions of men. Okay, so in this clip, he decides to blaspheme the Bible as saying something false and then immediately reverses what he says. Kennedy Hall isn't just stupid. Kennedy Hall is really stupid. He's like stupid. Like there's normal stupid, and then there's like half stupid, but then there's like stupid. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Catholic tradition is not the traditions of men. Traditions of men is a contradiction in terms, which is why Christ uses it, showing how it's absurd. There can be no traditions of men.
There can be no traditions of men because Christ is saying it's absurd to say there are traditions of men. Oh, but there are traditions of men, Master. No, there's no traditions of men. There's never been any tradition that any man has ever started. Oh, that is fantastic.
There's just tradition, which is something that we receive and just kind of happens because it's from a source that's bigger than us. Traditions of men is, there can be no traditions of men. Men in charge make stuff up and they call it tradition. Traditions of men is a contradiction in terms, which is why Christ uses it. That's what the Pharisees did. That's what the conciliar revolution has done. The new mass is a tradition of men. There can be no traditions of men.
Right. So he literally lied in his video. He says there can't be traditions of men, but there are traditions of men. Let's play that again. Oh, this is fantastic. So the Bible is wrong, and then the Bible is right, and then the Bible is wrong, and then the Bible is right. Yeah, because Kennedy Hall literally can't think. He's stupid. God has made Kennedy Hall stupid, and I hope the SSPX figure this out so they can officially tell him to shut his pie hole. By the way, my brother was making pies. We have some really nice customers. Oh, we do, Master Bowser? That's right, JP3. We got some really nice customers who grew some peaches. And these peaches are the driest peaches I've ever seen, which makes them perfect for baking. So when we're done here on the stream, we have to finish our rosary. We only got through part of it because we mistimed life again. And then we're going to go get some pie. Ooh, some peach pie, Master Bowser? Oh, fantastic.
Traditions of men is, there can be no traditions of men. Men in charge make stuff up and they call it tradition. Traditions of men is a contradiction in terms, which is why Christ uses it. That's what the Pharisees did. That's what the conciliar revolution has done. The new mass is a tradition of men. There can be no traditions of men.
Yes, welcome to a pure insanity. So yeah, I think the SSPX... Wait, why am I moving my mouth? So I think the SSPX completely destroyed people's brains. I just think that's true. Part 5, the last 6 minutes. Have we muted the stream yet? If you're still here, I'd like to give you a round of applause because no one should still be watching this stream.
Do you hear me? Stop it!
Yeah, because the stream is a huge embarrassment for which
I humbly apologize that's happened.
And this stream has been particularly...
It's horrible. Horrible. Just horrible.
Because this whole stream has been nothing but a bunch of words that we would really rather no one heard us say.
What was that? Idiot!
Okay. Last part. Okay. If you don't like the SSPX, you're a bad person. Okay. We'll get through this. Okay. I mean, we've got another half, I don't know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. Oh, I know. This is horrible. But you got enough content. You can just watch the other half later. It's good that way. Like I do that with a lot of my streams I watch. Like watch one half in the morning, one half in the evening, and the rest of it the next day.
And the tradition of the church is saturated with Christ's spirit, and it does not match the mentality and the dispositions of so many commentators right now. And it's disgraceful, quite frankly.
So it's disgraceful if you don't agree with Kennedy Hall, because that Kennedy Hall speaks for God. Now Kennedy is going to get mad at people for what he was defending. What was he defending?
Once people start going from I have a matter of conscience to my matter of conscience is how everyone ought to see the problem, and that's the Catholic position.
Wait, that's literally what you said, though. What you said was because there's a probable opinion and you have a conscience, therefore no one gets to talk to you, which is the same thing as saying, because I have a conscience, therefore that's the opinion all other people should hold. But you apply it to be true for you, but not true for other people, which makes you a bigot.
People start going from I have a matter of conscience to my matter of conscience is how everyone ought to see the problem, and that's the Catholic position. Now they're Pharisees. You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't do it. Huh. I don't know what the blank Kennedy Hall is talking about, because it seems, I actually don't know what the next clip says.
The Code of Canon Law is super clear.
The Code of Canon Law is super clear, okay.
Because it matches the tradition of the church.
Because the Code of Canon Law, which says you can't make bishops without the Pope, which was invented by Pius X, invented 120 years ago, matches the tradition of the church, which was 1900 years of you could make bishops without the Pope's approval. That matches the same. Okay. Make it make sense. Ooh.
There are a couple of problems with the modern code, but the Code of Canon Law is pretty clear on this.
There's a couple of problems with the code. So the code is wrong.
The Code of Canon Law is super clear. All things being equal, excommunication, consecration of bishops, no mandate.
So then he accepts that the Code of Canon Law says if the SSPX make bishops, all the SSPX bishops and priests are out.
However, go to the section where it deals with offenses against the sacraments.
No, it doesn't say that. It says penal. It's just a penal offenses. It never says anything about the sacraments. At least as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I might be wrong about that, by the way. But I didn't think it said that.
And imputability and all this kind of stuff, which applies to this. The consecration of bishops without a mandate is not listed as a schismatic sin in the.
It literally is. But it's not listed in that part. And by the way, it wouldn't matter if it was against the sacraments, because bishop consecration isn't a sacrament. So what are you talking about? Like, do you make notes, big bullet points, have your wife there in the little bunny suit, flipping the big words on the screen or something, or lifting up the candle, like, you know, the ring girls with the big board that says round one? Yeah, okay, now you just go to the next topic and it's got all the bullet points and the quotes laid out for you. Tell your wife to do that for you so you don't say bishop consecrations are against the sacraments. It shouldn't be against the sacraments. It's not a sacrament. Like, didn't he catch this? Does he know that there's not 8 sacraments?
Maybe in the SSPX there is 9 sacraments.
What's the other one?
Blessed are the podcasters.
Code of Canon Law, or the tradition of the church, which is why it's not in there in the Code of Canon Law.
Yes. If it was clear, no one would be talking. I have a clip from TLM Ryan with Father Calvin. And Father Calvin just says straight up, you know, it's 2 churches. Actually, let's play this. It's about like right here, and here we share this down. Okay. So this is a heretic, a complete heretic. On the right, Father Calvin Robinson. He's actually a real priest, by the way. He's a complete heretic, and this is what he says about the current situation of the church.
Every day, it's this two-tiered system is astonishing to me. But what's been interesting to see is how the church has almost entered a schism with whether they're excommunicated or not. Whether they're excommunicated or not, there's a schism. It's almost as if the church itself is dividing itself into two separate groups. There's nothing clear about this. This is why we defend the SSPX, because there's nothing clear about this. It's impossible to the mind to say it is both and not. At the same time, an excommunicatable act by defect of schism and not. the SSPX is in schism or not, the church has entered a schism. There are now two churches within the Catholic Church. The church has entered a schism. There are now two churches within the Catholic Church.
This is a heretic priest outside the Catholic Church looking and saying there's two churches inside the. There's nothing clear here. So why is Kennedy Hall saying it's clear? There's nothing clear here. Throw out the 83 code. That's what we say.
Oh, but I like the 83 code.
Why do you like the 83 code, Master Bowser?
It makes nice toilet paper.
The church has entered a schism. There are now two churches within the Catholic Church. Taking the SSPX out of the picture, there are those who adhere to the deposit of faith, and there are those who adhere to modernism. And previous popes have warned against this.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is nothing is clear. And by the way, nothing is clear is a great argument for the SSPX. Nothing is clear. Don't leave the SSPX. That's the political line you got to say. This thing is messed up. Don't leave. We'll tell you what to do.
No, but it's very clear. If you make a pope, then you're automatically excommunicated, and then you're not, and then you are, and then you're excommunicated because you committed schism, and then you didn't because the SSPX are good. Oh, looks like you wanted to throw himself a little bit. Yep. My fro, Calvin. If you are stupid, you cannot help but go to heaven. Yay! This is where we get to more of these retarded. Oh, I can't do this anymore. Come on.
Murder and self-defense can have the same end. Someone's killed. It's just in one circumstance.
He meant to say same result, not same end. If he says same end, that means intention.
Just in the other. Why? The intention makes all the difference.
Yes. This is called someone who does not understand philosophy, and he used specifically the wrong words. It's looking like France, but I want England to win. What? No. Argentina is going to win. It's got the best players. Okay, we all know. Soccer. Well, no, we just need to keep them. Let's just speed run the end of the show.
It has to be intrinsic. If it's not intrinsically evil, you have to do something knowing that what you're doing is wrong, knowing what you're doing with your free will, and knowing that you're doing something that you intend to do that is wrong. It's like,
yes. So in other words, you have to know it's wrong to make bishops without a papal mandate. Make bishops without a papal mandate. Wait, they knew this for 40, 50, 60 years, which is why they asked Rome for a papal mandate, because they were confused about how they should proceed. So again, Kennedy Hall is going to make these weird arguments like you have to know what you're doing. They knew.
Knowing what you're doing with your free will, and knowing that you're doing something that you intend to do that is wrong. It's like the basics of mortal sin.
Yes. Making bishops is like mortal sin. Okay. I intend to commit self-defense when I preemptively nuked Africa, and therefore it's not a sin. Oh.
Wait, no one accepts that, Master Bowser.
Yeah, I know. That's because it's a stupid analogy.
Oh.
You can't kick me out of the church if I'm too stupid to know I was out of the church.
Oh, that sounds fantastic, Master Bowser.
The bishops of the SSPX are not excommunicated. This is why Pope Benedict was so easily he was able to nullify it, because they didn't have to change anything, because they didn't actually do it.
Right. So they were excommunicated, but because I personally don't think they were excommunicated, therefore they weren't excommunicated.
It's almost like Kennedy Hall doesn't have any clue of what the church is or what the modern problems are. It's almost like Father Robinson, a notorious heretic, knows more about the Catholic faith than Kennedy Hall.
Yeah, we're sure saying that is true. Black screen.
Ooh.
You can't go around making all these remarks against the received tradition of the church. It's just absurd. And you can't go around proof texting. You can't go around holding people to some sort of safetyism, which is...
By the way, I don't know what he's talking about with safetyism. Because the church, by definition, is safe. And so, like, he made up this new argument I've never heard before. And it's so dumb that he's stupid. It's like he's never proof texted any of his arguments because proof texting is intrinsically evil. Therefore, he made it up. And because he made it up, he's infallibly saved because he has a conscience.
Jansenist.
You're a Jansenist.
Pharisaical. You can't do that. It's
You're
wrong.
a Pharisee.
Conscience is a real thing for Catholics.
Conscience is above the Pope. Okay, we got it.
He is no longer Peter,
Oh,
but you are Peter.
oh, the religion of common sense.
He knows that it will be impossible to assess in like a mathematical way all possible circumstances that will ever come up that could be applied to a given moral question.
Well, Master Bowser, isn't that true?
Yeah, that's why all of the people figured this out 1,1600 years ago. And whenever they write theology, they do it in abstract and exemplary examples, not exemplary, using examples. So for example, put the camera on me. Hi, I'm Master Bowser. So there's this thing that they say, St. Chrysostom says this, and so does Augustine. And they say, if you're going to go to a lady of the night for your, to feel good about yourself.
Oh, so you're going to a evil lady, okay?
You shouldn't do it, and instead you should stick with your spouse, even if you would treat her like you would treat the lady of the night.
Oh, is that a specific moral example?
No. What it is it shows you a hermeneutic of how to understand the topic. So in other words, you have evil impulses, but those impulses should not be used in an evil way. So sometimes those evil impulses, you have to guide them through a better channel, but you being a sinful jerk are unable to conquer your evil impulses.
Oh, so this is why Sadie Picante does deadlifts every once in a while.
Well, I haven't in a while, but yeah, he hasn't in a while. But yes, that's why you work out. You're working out because otherwise you have so much anger, evil anger in you that you channel it into other things that are not in and of themselves sinful.
But it could be sinful in the other case, but not in this case.
Yes, that's how you teach theology. You don't try to use exhaustive sources on everything. You teach abstractly, because then that informs you how to discern things and how to guide your conscience later. You don't tell every single case and then therefore you know everything.
Ooh, it's almost like the people that came before us in the 6th century were much smarter than us.
No, just this one's stupid.
And therefore he leaves the work to his creatures, who he has endowed with the authority to run his church, to make decisions based on common sense.
So the whole thing on common sense is just him not knowing how it actually works.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't treat a lady of the night like that. She would get suspicious. Fern always gets respect. What? Wait, what's wrong button? Wrong button! I don't remember. What? Anyway, then he says because the SSPX are stupid, they get bishops. Okay.
God is not more strict than the human legislator, meaning if there is men of goodwill who attest to certain opinions being probable in disputed moral and legal questions, then God is not going to hold you accountable to something that can't be figured out by men.
So then he says, if there's a dispute whether something is true, even though Rome has already said something is true for over 100 years, if we can find good men on both sides, therefore we're not bound to be taught. I mean, we're not bound to follow what Rome says. We're bound to follow what holy and good men say. For example, Bishop Schneider says what I want him to say, therefore I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do. Literally, this is condemned by Satis Cognitum, I can't remember, Casti Kenobi, Mater Dei, and Lumen Gentium. All four condemn this principle.
Oh, but Kennedy Hall has a big beard.
Oh, big beard privilege. I guess the popes don't matter. Just make it up as you go.
That's what it means. Because they can't figure it out because men are stupid.
Right. Because they can't figure out all possible scenarios, men are stupid. Therefore, the Holy Ghost does not guide the church. Okay, makes sense to me, I guess. I guess in La La Land. If you don't agree with Kennedy Hall's probable opinions, you have no charity. Oh, I like this.
That this is hard to understand for people shows not only a lack of, well, it shows a real lack of charity.
Right. Did he just blame his critics for not understanding him?
Well, anyone watching, if you don't like and subscribe, then you have no charity.
Yeah. If you're not like giving me money on supertip.gg/Sandy, then you probably hate me.
Oh, and then if you don't send us boxes of peaches and energy drinks, then you probably love Satan.
And if you don't like and then you're just the worst person in the world, and charity.
Oh, this is a professional commentator, by the way, blaming his audience. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a feminist with a beard, a lady man. Oh. This clip makes me want to go call Kennedy Hall. So sometimes I think it'd be really fun if you live next door to one of these content creators and just annoy them, like heckled them. They're going to work, you're like,
you're a schismatic. Hey, Kennedy Hall, you're a schismatic.
And then he's like, oh, please leave me alone, please. He's going to church on Sunday, and you're driving behind him with the loudspeaker.
You're a schismatic.
It's like, no, you have no charity. Please. This is what ZDP thinks he wants to do with the rest of his life, by the
way. So for all of you e-canon lawyers out there, all you bishops out there, and Dr. K talks about this in his letter saying, or in his article saying, you're already seeing all these different bishops saying, no one should go to the SSPX. It's the sin against the Holy Ghost, and it's the whore of Babylon, blah, 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 blah. Synodality is the way.
Ooh.
They're telling Catholics not to commune with fellow Catholics.
Yeah, because the other fellow Catholics are in schism. Do you not understand what schism means? You guys all got excommunicated. And now he's reversing the position. He's saying that if you're a Novus Ordo bishop saying you can't go to the SPX, that Novus Ordo bishop is in schism. Well, who died and made him Pope?
Well, I think Father Chicata answered that. He's the Pope because he decides.
They're telling people.
No, look, there's Taylor Marshall. We are giving Taylor Marshall all of our money. I love money. I mean, Kennedy Hall.
People, what the church doesn't even tell people, what Cardinal Fernandez says in some canonical temper tantrum.
Wait, did he just call it the head of the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith? I think that's what CDF. That when he says the SSPX are excommunicated, that Cardinal Fernandez is throwing a temper tantrum?
I mean, you don't get more liberalist than this. Hey, if you disagree with me, you're throwing a temper tantrum, and you have no supernatural charity, and you're in a state of mortal sin and schism, and you damned yourself to hell, and you're probably watching soccer right now. Admit it.
They're telling people have nothing to do with fellow Catholics.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be Catholic because you're being schismatic. Except that Father Gregory Pine and Christian Wagner said you wouldn't be, but you also would be. No one knows what's going on. That's the point.
That's schismatic.
No. And I don't know why he is crashing out. Oh, was this on the Integrity magazine by any chance?
You can't go around telling people that they're no longer Catholic. You can't do that.
Yes, I can. Watch me, you anti-Catholic Canadian duck.
And you can't act or talk to people, because remember, schism is a sin. It doesn't.
You're sinning, Kennedy Hall.
Doesn't have to be declared from the church.
It doesn't?
Just like heresy is a sin. Yes, people can be formal heretics and they can be condemned or whatever, but you can recognize a heretic when you see them.
Wait. Did Kennedy Hall just say we can recognize heretics by seeing them and we don't need a canonical process to recognize a heretic?
Formal heretics and they can be condemned or whatever, but you can recognize a heretic when you see them.
Wait, so we can all recognize that Leo is a heretic, and heretics, according to Pius XII, are not a part of the church.
So, don't think for yourself, just like Kennedy Hall think, and apple pie in the sky.
I guess.
Walks like a duck, talks like a duck, acts like a duck. Heresy, heretic. You can see it.
Wait. So he accepts the Sedevacantist critique that all the Vatican II popes are heretics because they act like heretics, walk like heretics, and quack like heretics. And we don't need the Pope to tell us they're formally heretical. Why is he in the SSPX again? Because it gives him money?
You have to be able to see it. Of course, you have to be able to see it, because it couldn't get to the point where you could have a formal condemnation if you couldn't see it without the formal condemnation.
Wait, you have to be able to see someone as a heretic before formal condemnation, for the formal condemnation to take effect, because if they weren't visibly heretical, you wouldn't know they were heretical. What if you're stupid? And you didn't know he was heretical, and you needed someone to tell you he was heretical?
Well, then it would be an invalid heresy, because you have to know he's heretical without the church in order for the church to tell you he's heretical.
So literally, this guy makes up his religion. He worships himself. He is his own pope. He decides. Okay. See, this is why Kennedy Hall is actually an anti-SSPXer, and it needs to be said this on social media. So all heresy is really obvious. Okay. Duck without orange sauce. Duh. And that's his answer. Duh. Okay. In this clip, Kennedy Hall hates. Okay, now he's just going to say, like, if you studied evolution, you're a drunk. I don't know what this has to do with the SSPX. But apparently, if you studied evolution, you are, in fact, a drunk. Make it make sense. He's just crashing out. I don't know.
You're not a scientist, so how could you know anything about science? Idiot. Did you go to university? Well,
I need to play a drop right here.
What was that? Idiot!
Do you hear me? Stupid!
You're like, all right, that's what Kennedy Hall's argument here is. If you went to university and studied science, you're an idiot. That's my argument. Okay, name calling. Okay, name calling. That's my argument. Name calling.
Did you go to university? Well, yeah. How old were you when you went? 18. Did you drink a lot during that time? Well, I may have been part of a few frat parties. Okay, so an 18-year-old kid who's drunk half the time, who plays video games and is a complete idiot, can go get a degree within 4 years that gives him a piece of paper from Who Cares University.
Wait, why would it be Who Cares University? Like, this is him saying if you study science, you're an idiot. Hey, Kennedy Hall, what's the topic for today's video? The SSPX. Will we hear you say that evolution is wrong twice in this video? Oh, definitely you will. Will we hear you just randomly talk about non-SSPX topics because you needed to talk for 90 minutes because you were upset your wife made you change a dirty diaper or something?
Oh, definitely. Oh, this is fantastic. He's taking it out on his audience again. This is another thing. Streaming is a form of therapy for podcasters. It's very true. It's one of those golden rules.
And he's called a scientist? Well, how on earth could you learn from the scientist before you were a scientist, you moron?
How could you learn from the scientists before you were a scientist? By reading. Kennedy Hall hates reading, hates research, hates proof texts. You know, normal. By the way, he's a teacher.
Wait, so the guy who teaches doesn't know how learning works?
Yeah, he's a fraud on every single level.
Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. He's SSPX after all. Ha, 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 ha.
Oh, Catkins is literally Einstein. I know this is massive trad narcissism. In the last, 20 minutes of the video, if you go watch it, he loses his mind. Kennedy Hall, the SPX have a picture of Pope Leo and the non-popes hanging in their churches. Did you know that?
I kiss a picture of Pope Leo before I go to bed every night. I sleep with it. I snuggle with a picture of Pope Leo. I love Pope Leo so much. I'm actually going to get Pope Leo tattooed on my forehead beside a picture of Pope Francis. And then I open my chest, my shirt, and I shaved all my chest hair. And Pope John Paul II, with a crown and a halo around his head, is tattooed all over my chest. You can't get more obedient than me.
That's his caricature of obedience? Like, if I don't see him having a tattoo of Archbishop Lefebvre from 88 making Bishop Williamson, Deloriers, Godot, and whatever the other one is, Tissier de Malrays, if I don't see all of that on his body, he's not even SSPX. And then there's 4 more bits. I need to see every single name of every single SSPX bishop on his body. I need to see tattoos. I need to see him his dreadlocks combed into his hair with pictures of these. I mean, he's not even beginning to be like, please, that's not even baby SSPX at this point. I'm pretty certain he needs to get rebaptized in the amazingness of how awesome all these SSPX. It's like, really? That's your argument? This is about 85 minutes into a podcast. And this is what he's talking about. I hate people who have tattoos, and they have tattoos of Pope Leo. Do you know no one has tattoos of Pope Leo that I know of? No, people don't do that. They have tattoos of mommy and skulls and snakes and these cool Japanese ones that cover up their entire backs is really cool. Anyway, yeah. Why are you talking about other people getting tattoos as a sign of obedience?
I don't know, Master Bowser. Why is he doing this?
I don't know. I honestly don't understand what I'm watching at this point. Let's watch it again. I love watching things that make no sense.
Beside a picture of Pope Francis, and then I open my chest, my shirt, and I shaved all my chest hair, and Pope John...
By the way, CDP has no chest hair.
That is why CDP is not married. Women only like men with hairy chests.
Paul II, with a crown and a halo around his head, is tattooed all over my chest. You can't get more obedient than me.
Yeah. That's called crashing out. That's called using your platform instead of proclaiming the SSPX to emotionally vent about how you hate people with tattoos. Weird.
Just shut your mouth.
No one knows. No one knows what he takes seriously. This guy's insane.
Hell is frozen over, apparently, because apparently I'm right about something.
That's it. That's the show.
Oh, I am right about stuff. Oh, did you know I'm right about stuff? Therefore, I am God.
You're pretty much the greatest ever that there's ever been, Master Bowser. I mean, I'm Master Bowser of JP3.
I know, Master Bowser. This is the best day ever. We would like to thank all the people who super tipped us. Peter Nelson, Preconcilium Radio, and Jerome. Thank you for all your contributions to our channel, and thank you for watching the show.
Be sure to pray a rosary every day so that you don't end up like Kennedy Hall. Pray for final perseverance from becoming an internet lol cow.
Because if you do that, your children will look at you and be ashamed of themselves.
I know, right? I mean, I can't imagine how my own family looked at me playing with stuffed animals.
Oh, that is fantastic. We need to play the Awoo theme, Master Bowser.
Thank you for watching the show. This is episode 52 of The Worst Show in the World, covering other worst shows in the world. What did we learn here today? Not to decide is to decide. The law is the law. Sin is sin. For it to be sin, it must be sin. Apple pie must be made from apples in order for it to be apples. The beard says the truth, decidedly so relative, so the truth is not decidedly relative. The truth is not true unless the truth is true. We didn't put the repeat on. Play it again. And awoo. Good night, guys. Thank you all for watching. This has been Saturday for Content from California with the California settings, holding up the late night show for all the people who are dumb enough to be awake at this point in the night. Because it's great going to bed early. They can get up, see the sun.
This is JP3 signing out. And the stream. Say it with me, Master Bowser.
And the stream. God bless you. Good night.
Good night.